Last year, All Elite Wrestling held their first ever WrestleDream pay-per-view in Washington State at the Climate Pledge, formerly Key Arena, where the Adam Copeland made his AEW debut to a raucous, thunderous reaction. I was fourth row ringside. I couldn't hear for 10 goddamn minutes. It was glorious. We thought we knew him, and man, oh man, me oh my, down on the Seattle Bayou, it was a raucous moment. It was insane. And this was right after Darby Allin was bound and determined to die after wrestling in front of many smaller crowds in Seattle, Washington, and the environs. And also, we got to see Will Ospreay. We got to see Kenny Omega. We got to see Swerve and Hangman Page tear it up. And then we got to see some stuff with Antonio Inoki's family, basically where Tony Khan was essentially embarrassing himself every time he goddamn talked. But that being said, WrestleDream was quite memorable, not just for being that close to the goddamn ring, but for being there for a pay-per-view. And now, just over a year after that, they're going to the Tacoma Dome, and this is what they're going to present. So let's talk about what could possibly happen. I'm John Wentham with my AEW WrestleDream 2024 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments, please. As of now, we're after AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday in Spokane, Washington. Yeah, they pretty much have settled on the card. I'm sure they will add some things on Rampage. Excuse me for not having the clairvoyance to see ahead. 10 matches as of right now. 10. So on the pre-show, Atlantis Jr. will take on Brian Cage for the Ring of Honor TV Championship. I guess Atlantis Jr. Fine. Whatever. It's wild that I actually saw Brian Cage in one of the first indie shows that I went to. And now, he's been, credit to him, he's been getting a lot of money from Tony Khan. And a shocking amount of, years on his contract, apparently, but I guess he's well-liked, so whatever. Who better fleecing Tony Khan for money? The Bucks, clearly the Bucks. I kid, of course, Atlantis Jr. will win. The people that are there for the pre-show will certainly pop. I'm going to say right now about the Tacoma Dome before I dive further into the goddamn card. That's a 21,000-seat arena. And is a dome in the sense there's a dome on top. So at least we're accurate there. But it has terrible acoustics. Goddamn horrendous acoustics. So we will make as much noise as possible. But don't be too goddamn surprised if it seems like the sound isn't coming across great on television. Or maybe we just don't care about the next match, all due respect to Mark Briscoe, who's defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Jericho. Why? Why are they doing this to Mark Briscoe? I mean, do they really not have anybody on the Ring of Honor roster? Why have Ring of Honor exist if you're going to put Chris Jericho in the goddamn Ring of Honor title mix again? Mark Briscoe better win for the love of all that is decent. I fear that Jericho will win, and it will serve no purpose, because Mark Briscoe defeated Eddie Kingston sometime in April, I think. So the sad thing is he's held the title for almost 6 months. So I could actually see them giving it to Jericho. And I guarantee you a lot of people will go to the bathroom during this. It's not that we have anything against Mark Briscoe. It's Chris fucking Jericho still trying when he can't do anything. People make the comparison, oh, well, Hogan and Flair and others were wrestling, when they were, in their advanced age. I said, yeah, the difference is those guys drew money. And we're still contributing at least something to wrestling, something a little bit positive. Yeah, pay-per-view buy rates had pretty much nosedived by the time they were wrestling on pay-per-view in 2000. But guess what? Still more interest in what the fuck Chris Jericho's been doing. So Mark Briscoe, or that may just be, they may actually have people walk out and not come back. Darby Allin against Brody King. It's going to be Darby Allin. I originally said it was going to be Darby against Josh Barnett. And then it was going to be, they were going to do something where Josh Barnett was going to be revealed as the leader of Moxley's crew. But I don't think they're going to go that route. I think Josh actually might get added to the show last minute, possibly. He is a Ballard, home Ballard guy, and Ballard is close to Seattle and a little bit further from Tacoma. To give you perspective, basically Tacoma's about 30 to 35 miles depending from Seattle, depending on what point of Seattle you're at, and depending on what point of Tacoma you're going to. I.e., you don't want to go to Tacoma. Tacoma is, I'm sorry, it's a cesspool of a goddamn city. There are nice people there, but it is a cesspool. Jack Perry, speaking of cesspools, Escape Joke is taking on Shibata. Katsuyori Shibata for the TNT title. I really hope that Shibata wins. I just don't see Shibata winning. Maybe they give Garcia the win over Jack Perry down the road. Is that going to do anything for Garcia? Jack Perry has done nothing for this program. This could be another match where I could see actually people don't take a bathroom break during the Jericho one. They could take a break during this one. And I like Shibata. I'm glad that Shibata is able to still wrestle. I'm a little bit worried about him wrestling considering the reason why he had to retire, but whatever, if he's happy with himself. If he's happy and he wants to do it and his new brain is not giving him any problems, then that's terrific. But I think Jack Perry's going to win to the absolute, thrill of maybe 5 people in the crowd. Will Ospreay against Ricochet against Takeshi in a 3-way match for the AEW International Incident title. This is going to be the match that is going to break the crowd. It is going to kill the crowd. Not that they won't love it. I actually think we will be totally on fire for this. But it is also going to exhaust the crowd to the point that anything that follows it until the main event is not going to really end up meaning anything because they'll probably put one of the women's matches on right after this, which will be really cruel. But yeah, they're going to tear it up. They're going to do flippy shit. I'm going to have Takeshita win this. I mean, maybe he'll pin Ricochet. Maybe Fletcher will interfere, knock out Ospreay, and Takeshita will pin him. I don't know. But Takeshita's going to walk out with the title. And quite frankly, he should. Do something with this guy. You can have Ospreay and Ricochet wrestle without the title and it will mean something. You can have them wrestle full gear. But then we get the Bucks and Private Party in a tag title match. Piss break. The Bucks will win. I'm sorry. I know I have tickets for this and I'm glad I got tickets for it because I got 2 of my very good friends going with me. But just, God damn it, they insist on having the Bucks there when they aren't any fucking good. They're trying to juice up Private Party, and I hope the Private Party does well. But Rick Knox is going to be involved, which means nothing's going to get accomplished. So, Jay White against Hangman Page. I think Hangman Page is going to win, but see, Jay White just returned, so are we going to get a fluke thing? Are we going to get Jeff Jarrett attacking Hangman Page to maybe do a distraction and Jay White wins? I think Hangman Page will win because I think they're going to continue his ascent, but they booked themselves into a corner here. And then the MXM collection is taking on the Acclaim. The former models, the former Mansoor and Mace. I don't know what their names are now. I don't care. Nothing against them, but I don't care. They'll win. As of now, this is listed on the main card. Okay, that's a choice. And they only have 1 women's match, by the way, announced. I gotta be perfectly honest, I think they really should have, they better add 1 or 2 on the pre-show, and maybe they didn't want to add Mercedes there, probably because Mercedes would have been booed out of the goddamn building in the Tacoma Dome when she got crickets for goddamn facing Emi Sakura, but it's Mariah May against Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's Championship. Mariah's going to win. I want to hope that they're going to put this in a good spot so the people will react properly. And I think Mariah May will... I don't know if she's going to handily win, but she will have to win in at least some kind of mildly convincing fashion only because they got to juice up her reign a little bit. I think Toni Storm's going to show back up. I think she will. I hope that Mina Shirakawa shows up simply because of the fact that it's just, simply because it's just great to see her and Mariah have fun. And only that, not because Shirakawa is absolutely beautiful. But that being said, Mariah May is going to win, but Willow, I'm glad they're featuring Willow, but they just don't quite seem to know what to do with her. And then Bryan Danielson against Jon Moxley for the AEW World title. If Danielson loses, the next time he loses, he says he's done with his full-time career. And you know what? He's going to lose here. Moxley's going to win. I fear that they're going to have Shane McMahon show up. And it's going to be a big old schmoz. And he's going to be leading the charge with the Bucks and others and everything. The Bucks and Jack Perry and stuff like that. And it's going to be... Moxley was actually working for Tony Khan. And it's not going to make any sense, but they're going to try to do something like that. So I think that's how they're going to go about it. So yeah, that's the WrestleDream predictions video done right there. Because I mean, I guess maybe Shane won't show up. Maybe this whole thing with Shane McMahon is just a red herring. But I really think unless you're going to go with the Bloodsport thing with Josh Barnett running this, I think you almost have to go with Shane. And then it's just going to be a question of how does this factor when Moxley has been with the company for so long. But yeah, nevertheless, those are the WrestleDream predictions. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.